Okay, thank you so much for hosting this time. My name is Moshe Ranlets. I'm a student from Victoria University, pursuing bachelor degree in business administration. I'm enrolling for my third year by March. First of all, I would like to appreciate the media who is hosting these functions, and also I extend my appreciation to the leadership of South Sudan Student Association for organizing this amazing event, for allowing all South Sudanese at different universities to come and interact and share ideas so that we learn from one another. So I would like also to encourage the next leadership to make sure come up with these very important ideas for South Sudanese to come and reason together for something that concerning our nations and Africa at large. And I thank the host for the social media who is hosting this event. I appreciate you for taking your time for coming to take notes of what we are discussing in this place. Thank you so much.
Year 2024, yes, I have come here to support it in full force. So, an election is where people of a certain country or a community come in and choose their leaders democratically and with a lot of integrity included. So, as we have come here today, our main purpose here is to come and make it clear that it is indeed very important for us to hold these elections. Why? And it is due to these reasons that we have come with. One, we need these elections in the year 2024 and in December because we need democratic leadership. Why? Because currently, if you look at the state of our nation, there is no democratic leadership. The form of governance we have is military. And a military government is the form of government whereby people are appointed, but they are not chosen by their people or from the different people in the different areas. And that is causing a lot of challenges. Why? Because so many of the people that are appointed do not do work to their best. And they are not even liked from their communities. Why? Because of the background. They do not offer effective leadership that can enable the communities to thrive politically, socially, and economically. And that is why we are here today to say that we need these elections such that we can choose leaders from a democratic perspective that can enable our communities to thrive as a South Sudan that we need to live in. So our second point here is that we need compliance to the peace agreement, and this is a revitalized peace agreement. And one of the conditions there is that we need to have that form of democratic leadership, and it only comes through when we organize elections. And these elections enable us to bring on board people who are competent, people who are able to account for everything that they do. So then, and to add on this, why we need this is because if we do not have these elections, hold on. Why we need this is because if we do not have these elections, we are going against the revitalized peace agreement. Why? Because we are breaking, we are breaching what we have agreed on. Because one of the conditions is that we must need to organize an election that can bring in a system that has democracy in it, not a system whereby we lead by military governance. The military governance is not in our favor. So, we allow.
Thank you so much. You are talking of military leadership. I would just like to remind you that in 2011, South Sudan's leaders, what the acting president now, was not appointed, but rather he was elected by the people. And he had the right who is the current vice president, Dr. Diakosha. And his opponent was Dr. Laptop. I don't know whether you, and I don't know the military leadership that you're talking about.
So thank you so much for that. And I must bring to your notice that all our leaders currently are not elected. Are the parliamentarians elected? No, they are appointed. They are appointed from above, not by their people. And that is why we have people in parliament who sit there, but they do not know the challenges their people are facing from below. They base on their selfish interests. We do not have people in parliament that are voted for by their communities. So thank you so much for that. Let me continue with my points. Representation and accountability is our third point. Because if you look at all our leaders that we have, there is no fair representation. Why? Because some communities have no people there to present them from the perspective, from the smallest unit of the community to the highest. Why? Because most of these people look up at the top governance. And then they pick people based on their interests, and these interests come back to the selfish interests and depriving the people in the local areas and in the villages from their privileges as citizens of South Sudan. And that is why we need these elections to come in such that the people can choose competent leaders that can be able to listen to their cries and present them in parliament, most especially the parliamentarians. And why I'm saying this is because we have people in parliament who are not chosen by their people and they do not care of what is happening to their citizens. So thank you so much. And
time is up.
Thank you so much.
And my fellow South Sudanese, I'm here to oppose. Election should not take place this year, 2024. Why do I say I'm opposing this? One, we have insecurity in our country currently. Since 2011 up to now, we have never had a peace in our country, the Republic of South Sudan. We cannot go for election when we have insecurity in the country. Where have you put the citizens, the poor citizens who are in the big village, and you want to lie to them that you should have election when you have not stabilized the country with the better security, with the better economic crisis? We cannot accept election to happen until the country is stabilized in better security, better development, and a better peace process in the country. The peace agreement that my brother you were just talking about right now, South Sudan, it has been playing left and right about peace agreement. They have never come into the agreement on the peace agreement in the IGAD. Why should they go direct and do election when we have not yet finalized the peace agreement? Election has to happen by the agreement with the IGAD, and finish the agreement, then you go back for the election. You cannot just go for the election when you have not finished the peace agreement. Constitution. The Republic of South Sudan itself doesn't have a permanent constitution where you expect the election take place with a constitution that is just, they say we have the election. Whether you like it or not, we have to have election. The countries we are not supposed to dictate. You have to have the constitutions, then you go for an election. I'm still coming, my brother. You will come later. Citizens in the country, they have not yet learned about the elections. And here you are here to support that you should go for election 2024. And we are remaining only with 7 months for the election. Have you gone back to the DP village and educate the poor father, mother who is there about the election? What do you expect for that poor person? And what are you going to convince the poor person to learn about these elections with the current situation that is happening in South Sudan? I will advise my brothers, let the government go and finalize the peace deal, the peace process in the Republic of South Sudan, and come back and process the elections after finalizing. Another point that I want to tell you is currently we still have the rebels in the bush. We still have the rebels in the bush that is bringing insecurity in the Republic of South Sudan. If you say you want to go for election currently, where do you expect those rebels to do anything for the citizen? They will attack that voting polls and destroy everything, and still we come back to the peace deal process.
And so, thank you. And so, it will bring again another process. On top of the other points, our first speaker spoke about, we are going to add another point which is going to be national reforms. But before I go to explain that, our previous speaker from the opposition side was here telling us about we have rebels in the booth. They are telling us not to host these elections because they believe they are rebels in the booth. My dear brothers and sisters, I want to let us know today very clearly that one of the causes as to why people go into the booth is lack of being satisfied of the current leadership. So, if we are going to say we should not hold elections, when are we going to change the leadership to make those people to become satisfied? Are we comfortable seeing these rebels destroy people? Why don't we say we give them the opportunity to choose the leaders they want that can satisfy them so that they can come out of the booth and continue peacefully as we coexist in South Sudan? So based on that reason, I am going to say no, it is not right for us to say not hold the elections in this year because we shall encourage those people to continue to be in the booth. Thank you so much. And so one of them, he was also telling us that our citizens are not yet aware about the election system. Thank you. So I am going to let you, I'm going to pick your hand later. My dear brothers and sisters in the house, and as a South Sudan at large, I want to let us know that it cannot take more than 2 months to let people know. How are we going to let people know about elections? How are we going to do this? We can mobilize, we can send delegates in the different regions, in the different counties, and we can also form the different coalitions that can move from the grassroots to let people know about the election, the need of election in South Sudan. So based on that, let us not blindfold ourselves that we don't have time to let people know. A good amount we said, well, 7 months to go. So we can do something and let people know about the importance of elections so that they come in to vote for their needs. They need us need to present to them. And I want to talk about constitution. These people are telling us that we do not have a stable constitution in South Sudan. My dear brethren, or my dear people in this country right now who are listening to me, I want to let us know that if we are going to sit that we do not have permanent constitution, where did we get that information that comes that we want to elections as per the revitalized peace agreement and it has been copied in the constitution? I want to let us know South Sudan as a country, it has a constitution. Thank you so much. Since you are eager, I want to know something, I can take your hand.
Thank you so much.
It is not going to be done, let me tell you. Now, based on that perspective, now I want to strongly say we should uphold the revitalized peace agreement that says we need a democratic leadership. They are telling us about insecurity in the country. Members, this one I'm going to explain it and then to our point that says national reforms. Let me tell you the insecurity in the country. It is not caused by maybe not because we are not going for elections. The current insecurity in the country is caused by the selfish interest of the so-called appointed leaders that are leading us. He was here telling us that in 2011, our leaders were elected. My dear ladies and gentlemen, I want to let us know the only election I knew I can remember about 2011 was the election for referendum, where we voted to separate ourselves from Sudan and South Sudan. So based on that, let us not be blindfolded that we had not elections. Me personally, I did not see people going to our polling stations to vote for leaders. I do not know, maybe if that one was done in the parliament, but the election, don't disturb me please, but the election we are talking about here is not that one done in the parliament. We want to give our people freedom to elect their leaders, not them go out to the grassroots. Where are they getting the grassroots people? Where are they getting the leaders they want? Now, talking about national reforms, we are questioning for elections because we want to carry out reforms in the country. The security guys are talking about, if we are given the opportunity to choose the leader we want, I am quite sure that even we are going to select the leader that is going to cause the reforms, we will not be bothered talking about insecurity in the country again and again. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, based on this strong results, on these strong points, arguments of mine, I really want to let us know, members, let us not allow our brothers and sisters to perish in the country. Why can't we give opportunity for us to select our leaders so that we see peace coming back to the country? Since 2011 up to now, nothing took place. Thank you so much. Join us, we sing to Rebecca Yenmangar, the second representative from the opposite side. So, before I disagree, I would like to first oppose the point that our brother just said now. The first point that is really paying my heart is him saying that we did not elect. I don't know where you were, but in 2011, when I was very young, I remember the elections took place. They came to our village, and even we were using some things. I myself was refused to vote. Why? Because I was underage. I don't know where you were by then, but
elections took place. And secondly, we talked about that elections should take place. Why would they take place when you haven't informed people? You say information will be done quick. How would it be done quick? Yet your country, actually our country and the leaders don't have the money. No, please, thank you. Don't have for our country, don't have the money to do so. Sorry, thank you. They don't have the money to do so. If they have the money to do so, that money should have first be used for developing infrastructures like roads, buildings, and all this stuff. We still have refugees, we still have our brothers and sisters scattered all over the world. For example, in Uganda here, we still have 1.5 million people who are still refugees and those living in towns. Do you have the money to go and use? No, thank you. Do you have that money to go and use for elections instead of using it to first help your people? It's not only that, people are not living as refugees comfortably. People are suffering in all countries. And even recently you heard of what just happened. Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. We are talking about the election that was done in 2011. Do you understand some proposal that is not have election 2024?
Yes.
Thank you. Point of information?
No, thank you. And then, now, let's go to the point. The first point is that elections cannot, the fact is that elections cannot take place in 2024. No, thank you. In 2024, why? Because South Sudan has not yet carried out the census. The last census was done when it was still part of Sudan. And the recent one that was just done recently, it was just done as an estimate. It was not the really census. People did not, no thank you. There were not people that were sent in villages and to go and count people. It was just an estimate, which is not right. How can you just estimate people and then there will be a lot of cheating? And then for something I just forgot, our brother talked about people being in the bush and how can we stop people being in the bush? How can we do elections? And the reason for why people are in the bush is because they are not satisfied of the leaders. My brother, how do you want to do the elections? How do you want those people to be satisfied? How do you expect the elections to go peacefully without them coming back home? All you have to first do is first settle scores with them, promise them that after they have come home, the elections will take place, and when they take place peacefully, they will be able to vote their leaders of their reference. And these elections should not take place in 2024, and I stand strongly opposing it. It shouldn't take place. Thank you.
All right, we'd like to thank the second speaker from Negative for that speech. Let us invite the last speaker from the side Affirmative to close the affirmative speech.
My name is Sanjora Badlagu. I'm the last speaker from the Affirmatives. And we are here to affirm the motion which says that this House, as the people of South Sudan, supports holding the election, the national election in December 2024. And we strongly support that because of the following reasons. We support this election because we need democratic leadership. Since South Sudan got her independence in 2011, we have been under militaristic leadership. Therefore, this time we need a democratic leadership where the citizens have their contributions, leadership where the leaders are elected by the citizens. We are tired of militaristic leadership. Therefore, we support this election because we want to change the militaristic leadership to democratic leadership. We also need to comply with the revitalized peace agreement, which was signed in 2018. According to this revitalized peace agreement, I'll take your hand later. It states that it is to believe that holding an election in December will adhere to the agreement and it demonstrates commitment to peace and progress. Right now, the people of South Sudan need peace. Peace is what we need. Therefore, the leaders have agreed in this revitalized peace agreement that this election has to be
hold in December. Therefore, we have to hold this. We strongly support that this election should be held because we have to adhere to this peace agreement. Now imagine we are going against this peace agreement. Where do you think are we heading? If we don't hold this election by this time, because in this revitalized peace agreement, everyone agrees. They talk of the rebels. Even the rebel leaders agreed we need to have this, and an agreement was signed. Therefore, if we don't hold this election this year, what do you think will happen in South Sudan? I'll take your hand later. And we also talked of representation and accountability. We need leaders whom we can hold accountable this time. In the current situation of South Sudan, if you look at the leaders, if you want to inquire something from the leaders, the first person they will ask you, did you participate in the liberation fight? Did you? Therefore, we need, it becomes hard to hold such leaders accountable. We need leaders, we need leaders who are accountable to us, who we are free to ask, who we are free, like, who can account, not these militaristic leaders who have been fighting for our liberation, and they take the advantage of that to oppress us. And these people also, they came up with their points. They said in security, where they cited an example of the rebel activities. But why are the rebels activities going on? Because the people are not satisfied with the leadership. Therefore, we have to do something in that leadership, and that can be done through holding this election. Something very simple to understand. And they also talked about the citizens not learned about election. The revitalized peace agreement was signed since 2018. And by the way, there are campaign going on. The SKM campaign going on, where Salva Kiir will go and campaign in his place. And those are not creating awareness. How sure are you that the citizens are not aware of this? Even the citizens in the village right now in South Sudan, they talk about peace, and they say, we want peace, we want election. Now, how comes that they are saying the citizens are not aware of this election? Which citizens are not aware of this election? All of us, the citizens, are waiting for this time. Are waiting to hold this election such that we see peace in South Sudan. And they also talked of one thing that paid me was, they said an election was conducted in 2011. I was wondering, are we really living in the same South Sudan, or there's a different South Sudan where you guys are living? Because the only election that was in South Sudan was referendum. The president, the current president, was not elected. He succeeded our hero, Dr. John Garang. And then he appointed the vice presidents. Now, this election was held in 2011. This election, that's why we need this election where we can get our own leaders. Therefore, we will say we strongly support this election if we want to see the rebel activities being addressed, when we want satisfaction in the country, when we want the problems of South Sudan to be addressed. We strongly support the election because of the reasons we have come up with. I rest my case. Salva Kiir became John Garang's successor. I don't know what kind of history you study, but what I know, in 2010, there was an election that was held. And in each and every county, including me, I voted myself, and I voted for Salva Kiir. You know the referendum that you're talking about. Salva Kiir is Dr. Lam Akol Ajawin, on which Dr. Lam Akol Ajawin, his running mate in Unity State, Bentiu in 2010 was Angelina Nyakume. She was standing as a governor, and the running mate of His Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardid in Bentiu was His Excellency Taban Bengai. I don't know what you're talking about. I hear you saying democracy. What democracy are you talking about when 1.5 million of the refugees are outside the country? What kind of fair election are you talking about? There is no fair and good election that will take place when the chairman, professor, he will see in a political party rally. What election are you talking about? Not the election. I think it could be democratically fair. So one thing that we are supposed to tackle first was to bring back the 1.5 million refugees. It's all in Uganda. For those who follow news, the office of the Prime Minister in Uganda. Relax, I will give you a chance. For those who follow news in Uganda, it was passed last month that we have 1.5 million refugees in Uganda, the southern Sudanese. That's only here in Uganda. We don't know Kakuma. We don't know what's happening in Kassala. We don't know what's happening in Sudan. So the first thing that we're supposed to do as the southern Sudan, we were supposed to bring them back home. We make them feel at home. Let's make them feel that they are included. How do they work their lives? Let's not rush. We shouldn't rush for elections. But let's first run. The first thing we're supposed to tackle is have a national dialogue on peace and reconciliation. Here's the first thing we're supposed to talk about. I'm here to defend my colleague. He talked of unification. The insecurity in the country. Where I come from personally in Malakal, 75% of the citizens, they are still in a POC camp, a unit, whereby they come out in the morning to carry out the business activities, and by 7 p.m. they go back. So what election do you guys want to carry on? People still locked in their own country, they feel they're foreigners. In their own country, they feel they're refugees. What election is responsible? You're welcome, sir. Whereby our own citizens were slaughtered. And you expect such a person who has been inside in a household to go back to a country whereby instability is still in the... It's so sad. Thank you. We have our Minister of Information, Honorable Makele, whereby when the Espona Mayor spokesperson, Honorable Stephen Farr, talked of we can carry out election whereby a country still, when the unified forces have not been graduated. And it's very funny that our own Minister of Information said that we shall graduate the chalabestics. It's so sad that even the 52,000 soldiers, you can graduate them with sticks. How? How do you graduate out? A whole country in the front of the president. What's the first work and first the security that we're talking about? In order for South Sudan to reach like other countries in terms of security systems, all we need is stability in a country. We need stability in a country. That's the first thing we have to tackle. We have money, we have minerals. But this is the reason why there is no development infrastructure. It's because you, the citizens, are rushing for elections. When you have no proper roads, you have no proper education. What election are you talking about when the criminal soldiers are still suffering until now? Why did we sort out that so fast? We have citizens. We have the women heroes. Their children sit in the refugee camps. Really, people who fought for liberation of the country. Really, is that what we're supposed to do? Are we happy like that? That shouldn't be the point. Okay. And here you're talking of constitution. Honestly, I don't think it's fair to appoint a person as a chairman of constitutional affairs when he's having a political party. He is supposed to have no color. So basically for the South Sudanese, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm here to admit, and all we agree, that instability should be resolved first in the country before we proceed for election. We need no more war. We need peace and stability in our country. Thank you so much.
Put it in areas where they are not easy to access. First of all, they are not well situated, and they don't need the people that they are supposed to intern. This causes a situation of discontent in the country that makes people to riot, that makes people to feel uncontented, and can even think of political instabilities as a way of overthrowing the government that's not catering for them. When we look at a place like South Sudan, we only have one capital city. We only have our main military target being South Sudan, being Juba, right? Meaning, if an enemy wants to attack us, it will attack Juba, and people will not have alternative ways of retreat. They only focus, there is Juba only, where they are going to get health facilities, where they are going to get the educational setups, where they are going to get the security setups. So every military agency that wants to attack us at an international level is going to look at Juba and target us. So if we provide an alternative solution to retreat, because retreat is not a bad thing, in case our military is to be faced with a challenge, we will retreat. The military can retreat to Ramchel, the new capital city we are proposing to set up. We are also going to provide these people with alternative means of financing their lives, of supporting their children, because now they will be offered other facilities. For example, in the construction industry, we shall have people who will go to Ramchel to look for ways of getting money, who will establish construction companies that are going to build other facilities in Ramchel city. So we believe that as they get this money, they will be able to support their children, they will be able to
leave this content, we also have exploitation of resources as we go to Hampshire City. So, also, when we look at it, if Juba was to be attacked, for instance, we are never able to save Juba from military targets. Because first of all, we may not have the capacity as a young developing nation to save Juba as a one city. So basically, we may reach a situation as Juba, as South Sudan, to be faced with a situation of retreat. Where we need to retreat. Where will we go? We may be forced to go to areas where there are no better health facilities. We may be forced to go to areas where there are no good educational facilities. And for instance, fine, this may not be a feasible thing in the short term, okay, fine. Because, you know, there are a lot of resources going to be involved. There are a lot of mechanizations that are going to be involved. There are a lot of economic inputs that is going to be involved. But we do believe that in the short term, this is going to cost us, because it's going to cost us fine, but the financing will happen. Regardless of what, let's not mind about the finances, let's look at more of what we do in the end. Okay? We are going to have backing from other countries that we want to come and serve the people of South Sudan, first of all. For example, Morocco, we are going to have China supporting us. Morocco is already buying into this idea. This is going to enable them to promote trade. Because when you are trading with one city, you are going to have an alternative to trade with another. We are going to trade to Ramshell, we are going to trade to Juba. This is going to increase its capacity. This is also going to increase on the earnings that we get at the global scale. Now, for example, our resources are unevenly distributed. Juba, first of all, we know that Juba is near the border of Uganda. But look at people of Unity State. Now, if they are administrators from Unity State, they will have to incur administrative expenses to leave from Unity State, for example, called by the president. The governor of Unity State will have to move from Unity State and come to Juba. This will make resources being expensive for the people to provide, and then they will not be able to invest more in the educational facilities because the company will require more resources. So we believe that if you bring it to the center, the expenses on transport from their individual cities to Ramshell will be cheaper. This will increase on the educational service delivery, this will increase on the health service delivery, this will also increase on the military health services, because we are seeing that a lot of companies are incurring costs. For example, if there are floods, for instance, a governor from a province of Unity State may not use the road, for instance. They will use air. Now, if we bring in Unity State, which is across the other side, they will just use road transport. This is going to reduce on the organizational expenses. We are going to also see that industrialization is going to happen. Okay, from my point of view, is saying that we are not doing away with Juba, for instance. We are creating a better facility. We are creating a 21st century organized city, Ramshell, which is built on modern technology. Juba, for instance, has buildings that are based on ancient technology of the Arabs, where we build using large chunks of stones. We believe that as we create a new technology where we are going to use concrete, where we are going to use better technology, where we are going to use claddings which are attractive to attract tourists into our country, which is going to increase our service delivery, which is going to increase our earnings for our country, we are going to deliver more. So I do believe that we need to establish Ramshell City. Thank you.
Good evening to us all. Our motion is this House supports the transfer of capital city from Juba to Ramshell. And being the first speaker here, from the negative side, I would like to say we do not agree to that because of some of the reasons. He has been giving us reasons. For example, it's in the center. Yes, we accept it is in the center. But when you see the location of Juba, first of all, it is near the border of Uganda and also has access to Congo and Kenya. There are roads that are being constructed. Now we realize there's easier access. As far as South Sudan, our agriculture is very bad. And in Africa, they say it's 98%, but me being a farmer, it is 100% that we depend on agriculture. For food, even sometimes for export. Now we realize South Sudan is very poor at agriculture. We depend on the food that is being produced from Uganda. And Juba, it being that commercial center that's next to the border of Uganda and South Sudan, even has access to Kenya, it has access to Democratic Republic of Congo. It means that it's easier for food to be taken going there, and the people are going to be, we shall be able to get something that we can feed on. Talking about the health facilities and everything that you have said, that when we take another city, we transfer the capital. Transferring the capital from Juba to Ramshell means we are taking literally almost everything there. The administrative center is also going to be based there. Literally everything is going to be there. Now you realize this thing. First wait. Now you realize when everything is transferred, first of all, we are a very small country and should be malnourished. At this time, our money is very weak. As a country, we cannot support ourselves. Our federal workers are not being paid. Now we want to go and get another city. Where are we going to get the money from? We have inadequate labor. How many of us are educated? When you check the population of people here, we have about 1.5 million refugees in Uganda. And this I know for the people because I also come from a place that is refugee-based, that is Cherandongo district. Now you realize that at least they have access to education. But we have people who are back there at home, very deep in the village, with no knowledge. Here we are, taking another city. Then we want to put in another city so that we can get access, and then where are we going to have it from? Instead of wasting that money on building another city, of which we are not so sure if peace will still prevail, and then we shall stand in. Why can't we invest that money? Instead of wasting it on a city. Juba is still there and it is working for us. We keep Juba, we just do what first educate the citizen. We were discussing, and I want to realize currently the company that is taking the road construction in Juba, it's the managing directors and the people who are not happy. I have my brothers and sisters who are back then at home there and they are unemployed. Now here we are, imagine road construction. It's amazing. Now they're building a city. Let's take for instance, there's Nigeria today. They first took Lagos as the first capital city. Lagos is near the port, it's near the ocean, and it was very easy for them to import goods and export goods. And that was very easy. Then we realized their trade was really very okay. After when they realized that now, okay, Lagos is now from, let us take this thing back to Abuja, which is a bit in the center. But that was after a long time. Now for us, we are here at South Sudan. First of all, development, very poor, roads. I don't know. I know on this Kampala Gulu highway that connects to Juba. That's the only road I know. I come from Eastern Equatoria. I assure you, from Nimule to reach Magu, you spend 2 days. You want another city. We realize that's not it. And again, so Juba, we want Juba to remain our capital city. Because why? The cost, I've already talked about that cost invested in education, inadequate skill labor, also accessibility from other countries like Kenya. Kenya is very developed to people. When you check Kenya, Kenya has Mombasa, Kisumu is also next to Levite, they have Nairobi, but we realize for us, we don't have that access yet. We do not have that enough resources to start up with. Now we realize Juba has helped us a lot. From Juba, people from Naples, it has given opportunities for farmers in our villages to be able, because I know not all part of South Sudan participate in agriculture, but young people who are able to go and sell their products in Juba, and they're easy to reach there. Because right now you realize there are some parts of South Sudan you cannot access by road. You go there by plane. So like if you take for example Ramshell. So a farmer should go there with the rights, with the plane to go and sell cassava with people. That is economic calculation. Thank you so much.
Side, I would like to inform the current speaker of the affirmative that we don't care. You mentioned that some parts of Juba are being constructed by a foreigner. So we don't care who constructs the infrastructures in Juba. What we care the quality of the infrastructures and well service delivery to our people in South Sudan. And secondly, you say that the Juba is near the border of Uganda and Congo. So, and yet Ramshell is at the center of South Sudan. If Juba is near the border of Uganda and Congo, how about those people who are staying near the border of Sudan? How will they access Juba? Don't you want your fellows to feel the freedom in the cities So if we construct Ramshell, that means that everyone will get access to the city. Since it is at the center, everyone will be able to reach to the city. Then you said about shifting. You said about like we are not shifting Juba. We are not shifting Juba away from its location. Juba is going to remain a city. We're just shifting. We're just carrying a name, the capital, the name of the capital to Ramshell and develop Ramshell. We are not shifting Juba away. Then my first speaker mentioned about military. Main military target. Juba, if you want to have one city, Juba is a military target that we have one city. If Juba is targeted, we are doomed. We are doomed that we don't have any other city to go to. All our administrations are all in Juba. So if Juba is attacked, we are all doomed. And he spoke about retreating of our army. So when Juba is attacked and we have Ramshell, the army will go will retreat Juba and go to Ramshell and make more methods of attacking, so we can hit hard to the what? We can hit hard to the rebels or the enemies that have attacked us. Well, and an invasion of health facilities. Health facilities in Juba, if they are destroyed, that means that the country is not going to function. People are going to fall sick. No one is going to help them. People will be weak and we shall be attacked and built to our levels that we cannot even defend the country. Then another issue, I'm building a point of economy, the economy of South Sudan. A country can't run without the economy. And if Ramshell is made the capital city, if Ramshell is made the capital city, the industries in Juba will build branches in Ramshell that will give job opportunities to people. Job opportunities. Remember, Ramshell has employment is not that good in Ramshell. So when they take industries there, people will get employed. The economy of the country will be boosted high, and the army shall be fed with money, with money that will also motivate them to protect the country. Recently, the army was added 1,000 South Sudanese pounds. So imagine if Ramshell is there and the economy also boosts and they added more money, how will the army be? More strong than ever. Also market, it will create more market for our people. When Ramshell is made a capital city, we shall get more market, except from Juba. Juba will be another market. Also Ramshell will be a market of its own, hence boosting the economy of South Sudan. Also, tourism sector shall be boosted. We shall have Juba, we shall have Ramshell as the capital city. So tourists will come from different parts of the country, visiting Juba, visiting Ramshell. The revenue of the country will also boost, hence boosting the economy of the country, creating job opportunities for the civilians. Juba is the heart of South Sudan, and being the heart of South Sudan, it shouldn't be congested with a lot of people. People are many in Juba that we are suffering of water, Kagoras and mob. So if Ramshell is made the capital city, all those things will reduce. We shall not say that they will reduce completely, but they will reduce that, and Ramshell will be there. They will occupy some people in South Sudan. So the economy, the sanitation of South Sudan, because overcrowding will lead to diseases. Take a scenario of COVID. If Ramshell was there, COVID will not scatter in South Sudan like this, since the congestion won't be that mob. Because health is the first key in a nation. If the nation is healthy, the citizens are healthy, so we are well protected, the army will be healthy. No army, no external force will strike us, because we are all that strong and we can defend ourselves. I also want to talk about the social. Cities are associated with it. The social evils like theft, what. So if Juba, because of lack of jobs, so if Juba is left as the city and Ramshell is made the capital city, those social evils will reduce. I'm not saying they will reduce completely, but they will reduce to a certain controllable state.
Judges, plan two competing types, site, and I'm getting you, my dear citizen. Good evening to all of you. My name is Chimbi. I'm from opposing side. The motion that said the capital city of South Sudan could be shifted to Ramshell
and we are saying it could not be shifted based on the following reason. Our friends from the other side, they have been talking about the military attacks, the Juba.
Vice President, Dr. Riak and his opponent was Dr. Lamkapot. I don't know whether you know, and I don't know the military leadership that they're talking about. So
we have the people, central in Equatorial, eastern Equatorial, and the rest, they are there. If we shift the country from here to that side, these people, they are going to remain there. If they are going to attack by those people, that means we are not going to care about their life. We leave them for the enemy. I think that case is not going to be a big deal, because we are shifting only the men, not the people. My protected friend. Let me come to my friend. You know very well, creating nursing in town. The same was costly. It is costly. South Sudan is a new country. We are lacking everything, as our brothers talk about. We don't have enough skill to construct the road, to transport or to facilitate the development of the new country. I mean the new capital city. If we are lacking this, South Sudan is, as for now, it is an independent. It is a different country. We are depending on the other country. We don't have engineers. Even the electricity, we are lacking it. The person, the person who is operating now in the city, running the electricity is the foreigner. We are using what's called the wood generator. So if we are to ship that capital to Ramsham, that means we are going to be lacking these privileges of electricity, because we are very getting connected with the Uganda. The power of Uganda, we are going to use it. I'll give it to you. Then another thing, South Sudan has been facing a lot of challenges. We are in a crisis. The conflicts has been controlling everything. So the recent group have been talking about peace and conflicts. If we are on that process of hitting the capital, yet we are still in process of peace. How can we manage to transfer the capital city, yet we haven't managed all these primary things like peace and sustainability. Three, South Sudan is lacking food. We don't have agriculture. We are depending on a different country. We are just getting supply from our neighbors. Yeah, thank you. Then we are just getting a support from our neighbors country. Then if we are going to make a new city, how are we going to survive? Yet now in our current capital city, we are just surviving from different country in terms of resources. In terms of food. Then we also talk about the borrowing money from different countries. You have to make sure those who study business, whatever you are taking in loan, you have to pay it back with interest. So if you are to use the help from different countries, do you know how much are you going to pay in return? That means it's going to be a higher cost more than whatever we can do. Thank you very much. So since my time was enough, I would like to give this time to my colleagues to continue.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I personally believe
that it is okay for us to have two powerful capital cities in South Sudan. We are here in Uganda, and you can have two houses. Is there any problem with that? If you guys were talking about capacity, you're talking about finances. Today, if I say I am getting married, my neighbors are going to contribute regardless of what they have. They can give me 10,000, you're going to give me 5,000, you're going to give me 3,000. For me to have my wedding, we are a society. We are within the East African community. When South Sudan has wars, the United Nations comes to support us. Let me tell you something. If South Sudan today decides to say we want to have another capital city, we want another capital city, no one is going to refuse that idea, and everyone will buy in. Believe you me, they will accept. Because Juba honestly is a well-rugged area. The infrastructure doesn't depict what a capital city looks like. The houses do not show what capital cities are supposed to look like. The location itself is so far south. My sister talked about it being able to, for us to access food from Uganda. Until when are we going to be getting things from other people? But getting another capital city is one stand. It shows that now we are capable. We are not going to keep getting things from other people. Building another capital city shows our capabilities. It shows the world that yes, we are ready. We are ready for this. We are ready to take on the mantle. But if we keep depending on other people, and another issue is Ramshell is another way for us to start afresh. Is another way for us to show our cultural identity. It's a fresh start. From the time we had Juba, we have never had peace, we have never had unity. But Ramshell is a stepping stone. It is a way for us to say, yes, we are starting afresh. My house collapsed in Kololo. I'm going to Naguru to build. I am now going to build a flat, a 3-story building. That one, let it first rest. Let us leave Juba to rest a bit. We are not saying we are taking things the other side. Let Juba rest. Let it calm down as we are going up the other side. And this also brings regional balance within South Sudan. Which, when we have Juba, we have Ramshell. We have hospitals in Juba, we have hospitals here. We have people employed in Juba, we have people employed in Ramshell. That is decongesting even. We are already decongesting Juba. Juba is already getting crowded. Juba is harboring illegal people. Juba is having people that are not supposed to be there. But when we go this side, we are beginning again. We are starting afresh. We are doing what is necessary for our country. Let us be happy to have two cities. Why are you guys diminishing yourselves? Why are you saying we can't do this? We cannot do this? Why don't you believe in yourselves? We are here in Uganda to study, to go back where? To South Sudan, to better it, to build it. You guys read a mess. Let us start afresh, fresh ground, no history of anything wrong with it. Let us start on a fresh ground. Let us have our unity. Let us do things that are supposed to be done in the right way. But if we are having this mentality, we can't do this. We cannot afford this. Until when? We shall stay encompassed in that place. We shall be in one circumference. We are not going to move forward because we are afraid to make new changes. Why are we scared of change? Change is very important and change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. We cannot say we can't change. A few years ago I was this small. Now here I am. We cannot avoid change. We need this change for our own good. We need this establishment for our own good and stop fearing the finances. Don't fear the finances. Today in Victoria I will announce, you guys, next week I have my wedding. The neighbors will come and say, oh, it is Victoria's wedding. What are we going to do? I'm going to scrap the saucepans. I'm going to bring the meat. I'll bring the cake. I'll contribute for your gown. Don't fear about finances. That one we are sorted. Believe you me, we are sorted. When we are in UN came up, brought us here. We have been receiving something. We have been receiving what to eat. Why didn't they help us? And within East Africa, they encourage development because when we are within this community, when we are within this body, if South Sudan develops, it's for their betterment. And it also encourages tourism. How? Tourists need a safe environment. Tourists want to stay in a clean environment. Tourists don't want to go where there are witchcraft. Juba, let me tell you, I don't know, 2021, I don't remember the year. They arrested witches within the capital city. I thought it'd be a tourist and I'm like, I'm going to settle in Juba. There is witchcraft there. They know that this place is not stable. They know this place is not good for them. So we need this place. We need this to start afresh, to show the world that here we are. We have started afresh. We are moving forward. We are secure. You can trust us with your people. You can trust us with your finances. And you believe in it.
Even in the audience, we'll not waste so much time because the debate has already been introduced and all of us are aware of what is going on. We'll go straight to the point being put forward by our opponents. They are saying that we should create a new city, we should shift from Juba to Rangchel, which I strongly oppose because as a country, I think we are debating from the same South Sudan where I come from. We will come from it, whereby the only tarmac that we know of stops in Juba. The rest of the cities, we are just trying to create the other routes being constructed as for now. So it brings us to the point that as a country, we do not have the road network that could be used to transport the materials that can be used to build a new city. Let me tell you something. This is engineering. It's not about transferring on it. It has a logic. We use materials not only got from South Sudan, but there are some other materials which we may import and to need resources. Let me educate you about the stand of South Sudan as an economic point. South Sudan now is saying that they cannot pay civil servants because they do not have enough resources. Now, where do you get the resources to build a new city? You want to shift. That's what goes for the situation. About the military, we talk of the military attack. Let's first look at the case scenario of Israel and Palestine. Have you seen the kind of ammunition they're using? They are not invading physically. Okay, they may be invading physically, but more aggression is brought about by bombing. We have an assault bombs, which can determine whether you hide to where, if you need to go to the border of Sudan. A bomb from here will be sent and be destroyed there. So that one doesn't leave us the priorities that we have as a nation. Our priorities, we are in a country whereby we are fighting food insecurity. The country is being fed from, we are a consumer society, let me say, being fed from outside. So now, the priority should be, let's first develop and have a stable community, a stable economic that can sustain a new city. Like for example, Dubai, once they build a Plan de Jumeirah, that is a man-made island, it was built in 2001. When the king came up to propose that we should build a new city in the sea, is when they realized they have resources and they want to create facilities which can attract tourists that we are talking about. They are attracted by people who have the capacity to build something which is impressive, like you have said, electric trains, first 21st century cities. Yes, we all have 21st century cities, but do we realize that 21st century cities calls for competent labor force? Competent labor force means that we need the citizens who are skilled to build the city. Why would you say that I don't care who will build it, as one of the speakers said? You do not care who will build it. Don't you know that once you are building something, it is also acts as employment opportunities to the nation. So our resources, we need to maintain them. We do not need to bring in foreigners that will be giving our money and they take them away. Then we should revise the economy, how it operates. We do not take resources out. We advocate for building resources in. That's why we are saying that having the city is not a bad idea, but it comes when we are able to afford it. It is a good idea, but it comes when we can afford it. So let's first prioritize stability, peace, and all other things that are able, which we can use as a country as per now. For example, development. Do you know that where our president sits now is J1, the parliament? Do you realize when it was built? It was built some time back, and now we are still using it because we are taking advantage of what we already have, when we cannot afford a new one. So let's use this already developed city for now, and in the meantime, we shall have another city. For example, Uganda, recently announced, in 2020, they announced more cities like
Kampala City, Gulu City, and all that. Because they realize now we have developed in a sense that it can attain the status of city. Kampala can also have a status of city. So they realize to avoid congestion that we are talking about, they said, okay, let's have Mbale City, let's have Gulu City. But not coming and say, let's make Kampala because it is having not a bad road network and all that. So you cannot shift a city when you cannot afford it. Because if it was the case, you then have a very nice land in those areas of Nakasongola. It is relatively flat, like the ramshell that we have. They can use it to build their city. So they cannot do that because they realize they have to take advantage of the economic status that they have. And so let me conclude that one. So let's say that shifting a city is not the best way for now. Let's be in city, let's be in Juba, and all that doing us. My last.
Mining has caused this thing. If you was it in rural administrative area? In rural administrative area, the oil production that is there, I mean the mining that is taking place there, is not controlled to the extent that the oil has spilled into the environment. Climate change. Let me draw your attention to the 13th SDG. It says that there is need for urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. One of the main suggestions they give for combating climate change is the mitigation and the mitigation of oil mining, because one of the things that contributes to the greenhouse gases, first of all, is the use of fuel cars that you have to first mine the oil itself. Then the oil, as you mine it, you know what happened with, like what happened in South Sudan. There is that health complication that comes with it. It affects our climate. So South Sudan, I mean, we as the farmers, we would be very much in agreement with the 13th SPG to say that urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts need to be taken. And how does South Sudan take that? South Sudan takes it by ensuring that climate justice is prioritized over oil mining. If we go back to our late Honorable Dr. John Garba, Dr. John Garba said that South Sudan as an economy, when he was asked about the solution, if you're given a free country, he said that I wouldn't prioritize oil mining because first of all, oil is going to make us lazy. What would I do? I would prioritize agriculture. So we're not saying that, okay, the oil is, because I know you're going to come and say that, so you want, our economy right now is dependent on oil, so if you want us really to benefit, I would say no, agriculture is the first thing. Right now, this oil, because of the conflicts that took place in Sudan, and then our refinery was closed down, our economy was trapped because we are not diversified. The economy is dependent on oil, the oil which is dangerous to our health, the oil which is dangerous to our planet, and the oil which is even trapping, it is imprisoning our economy. So why wouldn't we look for an option of diversifying the economy, protecting the climate, protecting our health? Because at the end of the day, this oil, we want to sell it. After selling it, we want to use it to sustain our economy. Who is the economy going to sustain?
Is that South Sudan should prioritize climate justice over oil mining. Here we are saying no. First of all, I've come together with the team. I'm Samson Sandy Lagu as the first speaker, Mandela Jackson our second speaker, and Anzo Robert Lagu as our third speaker. So as I continue, today we have come here and we are saying no, we cannot prioritize climate justice over oil mining in South Sudan due to the following reasons. 1, economic consideration. 2, energy demands. 3, technological advancements, and then international relationship. But before I continue, let me try to educate my brother on something little. He talked of environmental protection and also spoke of depending on the economy, and the third thing he said, diversification of the economy. He's talking of agriculture. Yes, we're talking of agriculture. What are you going to use to do a massive or a large-scale form of agriculture in South Sudan? You're going to need tractors. And can you use tractors without petrol? And where does petrol come from? It comes from the mining sector, and that is through the crude oil that we extract. And that is why we are saying no, we cannot prioritize climate justice over oil mining in South Sudan. Why? Because we need this, and we need this to do the diversification that you are talking about. Diversification, we have it in agriculture, we have in transport, and so many other sectors. And this also helps us in doing research. So, we are talking of climate justice, and we are neglecting the aspect of research. First of all, when an industry or a company is assigned to do mining in a given area, they first conduct research to find sustainable ways of how to carry out their mining. And so that's why we are saying we cannot agree with you that we are prioritizing climate justice over oil mining. Hold on, I'll pick you later. So let me continue. Economic consideration. So you want us to prioritize climate justice over oil mining, yet you know we depend much on oil, right? So one of the things that you're talking of is agriculture. And I know some of you will come and talk of what? Afforestation, whereby you need to go and plant what? Trees such that you can protect the environment. Yes. But then, where are you going to get the resources from a country such as South Sudan that fully depends on oil mining to get its resources? So we are saying no, we cannot accept that. Economic considerations will be accepted here such that we can get the resources that we need and we carry on with the activities. As we do the oil mining, we can carry on with others collectively and we develop as a nation. Let me move to my second point, energy demands. An economy cannot thrive without us getting the resources from the mining sector, most especially oil mining. Why? It's because we need the petrol, we need the diesel, and we need all those other resources such as the oil and the gas to do other things in the economy. Why? Because without these things, the agriculture we're talking about will never work. Without the diesel, we cannot be able to have a running economy because we are talking of an economy. That is why we are saying we need this. You expect to go and grow your crops in the garden, and you expect to transport them from the area of production to the area of need. What are you going to use? You're going to use tractors, you're going to use trucks, and you're going to use so many other things, and all these are supported by the products that we get from the oil mining industry. Thank you so much. May you how to extract this oil. That's why we are saying no, we cannot accept to prioritize climate justice over oil mining because we need it, and that is why. So the third thing we're going to talk about here is technological advancement, and technological advancement comes with research embodiment. So you are talking of climate justice. Where do you start from? Where do you have the best? Because now we are talking about climate justice. We are not conducting any form of research. How will you know the ways? How will you know the effects of the things that you are going to use or extract? So that is why we are saying it must be there, because it comes with other benefits such as research, and this research helps us to overcome and also be able to find sustainable ways of how to extract our oil. So therefore, I tell you, you better accept the fact that we are not prioritizing climate justice over oil mining. Thank you.
Affirmative negators, everyone in this room, good afternoon. My name is Sajata Vita, coming to affirm to this motion. Let me go straight away to what my brother said. One of his points said we have to work together because in the international relations, every state has to do something. But let me tell you the opposite. You really talk about our point without knowing. The truth is that one of the principles of international relations says that no state can live on its own without cooperation with other states. But the world has reached a point where everyone is talking about the advantages of climate or of working on our climate change. So how are you going to work alone as South Sudanese saying that you are working on the oil and yet you will be neglected by other states in the world? You talked about the use of technology. You said, what are we going to use on our on the machines that we will operate those things that we were talking about? My brother, let me tell you that the world has gone very far. As we talk now, Elon Musk is working on electric cars, electric technology that can be used in the gardens, they can be used in every department. So we have them, they are called Tesla. Maybe you can Google that and you will find out that that is very true. You talked about the economy. Let me tell you something. In the 1980s, Uganda had a very struggling economy. By then, there was no oil discovered in this country. But the Minister of Commerce, which happens to be Professor Kanyihamba, came up with an idea of using better trade. Uganda could give out its crops to countries like Canada or different things, and then those countries could also give Uganda some cars, different things, and that was the main thing that brought back the economy of Uganda when it collapsed in the hands of Idi Amin. You can Google that and you will find that out. Somebody talked about how we can also raise money to do all those things without oil. Let me tell you, there are so many countries, for example, Cuba. Cuba exchanged its doctors with other countries, and that was able to help Cuba to get what was needed outside the country. So as South Sudanese, we have very knowledgeable young men. We have people that are good in law in different areas. Our country can work together to make sure these people are taken to other countries and we get the knowledge that we need. So I would like to tell you that electricity, that we have to emphasize climate change, how we can work on our climate change, because it will help us to do our agriculture unaffected. It is going to reduce the level of death that we have in the country as we talk now, because we have so many children that are born as premature and they die in South Sudan. We've been struggling with a lot of issues in Bentiu, and I will pick you wait a minute. We've been having a lot of challenges with the people that are living in Bentiu. All these things have been caused because of the oil. So we are not neglecting the fact that we have to mine oil as South Sudanese, but the issue is we have to prioritize. So in prioritization, it does not leave other sectors out. It will not leave the oil sector out. Then we are trying to pick what is going to benefit us as South Sudanese or as Junubin, and then other things will come in later. Maybe if we have reached a point where we are almost meeting our climate issues, then we will come up to address the issues of oil. But for now, we have seen a lot of challenges that have come with oil mining in South Sudan. Another thing is that it will help reduce the conflicts. As we talk now, people are fighting with each other. Junubin are fighting each other because of the oil. But when it comes to climate change, this is something that will combine all our efforts, because it is a language every country is speaking as we talk now. Every country is looking at it. So if different countries are able to unite against the effects of climate change, that means that even as the South Sudanese, we will have a uniting factor that will bring us together. So I'm highly coming back with the points of my brother Abraham, where he talked about us fighting the floods, the rise in the sea level, the deformities that come with oil mining, the global warming that has been a very big challenge to us. We have to work on the pollution that has been a very big effect of oil mining. We have to work on the health complications and the laziness that it has brought to us as South Sudanese. Right now, most of our leaders sit down to just wait for the oil. But if we first leave this thing aside and focus on our climate, it will help us to grow a lot of food in the country. And this food is going to help us promote all the other sectors. So I want to thank you so much for listening to me.
Before Mandela Jackson coming to negate against this resolution, which is telling us that we should prioritize the climatic justice or climate justice over oil mining. Dear ladies and gentlemen, as being the second debater from the opposition side, I am not really going to concur much about that, but I would rather say, instead of us focusing on or putting climatic justice first, let's focus on the first thing. My dear members, people who are before us were coming to tell us, like, from the other side, they are telling us about environmental protection, health and well-being, diversification. Country, we can actually import workers, we come and work together, and we help reduce the conflicts. And I just want to tell us one thing. If you want to suffocate the fish, you want to boil the fish in South Sudan, just drain the water bodies. Drain the water bodies, you will see every fish die. So this one tells us that if we want the rest of the things to die in South Sudan, let's tamper with the backbone of South Sudan, which is of course the economic sector, which depends on mining. I want to tell us something. I'm going to pick a hand, just be patient. Don't worry. Let's first get the information. Another thing I want to tell us is that you are planning, for example, to go to maybe Juba from here, and you're going to use a vehicle to reach Juba. My dear, for you to reach to Juba, you first need a vehicle. Now, this brings me to my argument that for us to talk about environmental protection, we cannot do environmental protection when we don't have resources or financial resources. How do we get the financial resources? If we put climatic consideration first, is that going to yield for us the money we need to carry out the protection of our environment? Of course, no. You cannot tell me you're going to educate people about the importance of planting trees as a way of what? Protecting the environment without having money. How are you going to move from Juba to here, tomorrow, to the different parts of the country? Of course, you're not going to do anything. And you were telling us about health and well-being. Yeah, of course. What our first data was telling us, they said that this mineral, this oil mining, if we prioritize it, it is going to make us to advance our technology, which it does not come when we don't carry out research. That means we need to carry out research from the various phases of life to find out how are we going to manage the health of the people. Members, we have not neglected other things, but we are saying if we want to enter the house, let's locate the door first before we go there. Otherwise, how are we going to get there? You can't, of course. Now, I want to talk about international relationship. They are trying to make the point of international relationship. Members, South Sudan, as a country, if you are to go to Juba currently, you find most of the investors, they are not to South Sudanese. Some we have like foreigners who are trying to develop our country. Let's talk about Chinese. We have Chinese companies in South Sudan. Let's talk about Indians. We have them. But what is it? What is that thing that is going to focus on what? For our relationship? Of course, the mineral, which is attracting them to come and invest, they will come and bring all the things that we need in order to develop. Don't misquote us. When we talk about international relationship, don't misquote us. Because without that, if you are to prioritize climate, as you say, of course, let me tell you, those people are not going to come because they don't have any benefit. Let me take your hand. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. But you all tell me a country that you don't have oil and then having investment.
Thank you so much. I've understood your point. So I want to relate this with Uganda. Uganda depends on agriculture. You come and talk about the agriculture of Uganda, whether Ugandans will not die off. Please allow me to continue. Yeah, we are also talking about like economic consideration. Guys, let me tell you something. If you really want to look smart, you need money to dress. If you want to do anything, you need money. So for us to develop our country, South Sudan, of course, which we want it to be number one, if we want to be asked in the world according to development, can we do that when we prioritize climate? Where are we going to get the economic demands we need? Of course, mining is going to help us. We may reach there to what? International relationship. It is going to help us. We are going to get a lot of resources that we need to develop our country. So let us look, my dear August House of today, we should not be lied to. We should not be lied to that if we prioritize climate number one, our country is going to develop. Where? We need economic development. We first need that money before we talk about other things. That is why I'm here to remind our dear opposition side, they were the one opposing, but in this context, they're trying to oppose against us. I want to remind people very well that you cannot do anything without money. You cannot begin focusing on the health of people when you don't have money to buy medicines. You cannot focus on developing, diversifying the economy when you don't have money to whatever mechanize your agricultural sector. When you don't have the money to whatever you're talking about, like development, like technology. You don't have money. How are you going to buy those electric cars and going to South Sudan? Of course, it's not going to function. Let's put first things first. We have not denied the fact that South Sudan needs other sectors, but we are saying number one sector is what we are depending on. Thank you so much for listening. I rest my case.
They has come into three major arguments. One is money, not vis-a-vis the lives of people, and vis-a-vis other sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, these people come here and tell us we need money, so we need to venture into the what? Into the oil sector. But they forget that South Sudan, being one of the countries with diversity of resources and natural resources, they forget that we have not actually touched the other sector. We are only concentrating on one sector, that is the oil, which is not the case here. For us, we are saying we are prioritizing what? Climate. Why? The reason is, ladies and gentlemen,
the lives of the people of South Sudan matter compared to the money that we are going to get from this oil that we are mining. Ladies and gentlemen, if we actually, the 13th goal of the SDGs states that we need to combat what they call climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, these people here come and tell us there's what they call international relationships. Ladies and gentlemen, these SDGs were formulated by member states of UN, of which China is part of those member states. So we actually create to relax our people. So China is a member of these SDGs, and when this climate is affected, it does not only affect South Sudan, but affect the entire universe. So these people who are investors are actually going to be affected by the climate that you are trying to destroy by only mining oil. So we do believe that if we prioritize this, and then we actually do what they call climate change, we filter these gases, okay? Because we are going green. There's what they call thermal energy nowadays. Relax, I'm coming to you. If we look at, we talked about killing of people. People are actually dying because of these gases that are emitted into the environment. You see that actually the aquatic life that is in water that you talked about that we need for the country, because they attract tourists, which Chinese or any other person, European, will not come to see the aquatic and the beautiful nature of the sad swamps in South Sudan. So why should we destroy them instead of first protecting them, and then we come later and see? And when we protect these things, it is going to open our eyes to the emission of funny gases into the atmosphere that is actually destroying our environment. Why can we adopt such? Accept change, and let's accept to protect our environment that is actually going to give back to us. I told you as early as possible, and I told you that actually this environment is where we were living in before the coming of all the government. Our ancestors were actually benefiting from this environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Santoro Patlagu, and I'm here to summarize the whole thing. The motion says this House believes that South Sudan should prioritize climate justice over oil mining, but we are saying no. Because you give priority to what you benefit from most, knowing very well that the economy of South Sudan depends on oil mining. Why do we prioritize that? Because we also believe in the saying that with money, everything is possible. Therefore, if we prioritize oil mining to get that money to bring a strong economy, don't you think climate justice will become automatic? It will become very easy. In fact, let's look at countries like Egypt. They prioritize the economy first, something that gives them money. They build the economy stronger, and then they look at those things of climate, because with money, as I said, everything is possible. They talk of environmental protection. I don't really know what they mean here. I didn't explain it in details. So are they trying to tell us we should leave mining while knowing very well that the whole country depends on mining? We leave that place for mining and we allow the trees to grow there. Is that what they mean? I don't get what they are saying. And then they also talk of health and well-being. Health and well-being do not take a lot of resources. And then they also talk of diversifying the economy. And here they are focusing on agriculture. Diversifying the economy, they know what diversification of the economy is. Diversifying economy is like shifting from one economic activity to another. We have been at an advantage position. We have money to pay. What the people focus on the money, and then we diversify the economy, the resources from mining, and then we see people diversify the other economy. We in that manner. We already have the money. What the people capitalize on mining, and then we think of the other thing. They also talked about they brought in the aspect of SDG, and I want to simplify this for you. The UN SDG, the 17 SDG. SDG stands for Sustainable Development Goal, and I think with this now we are ready to understand well, because that's which we don't know. So in the SDG, they are focusing so much on climate action. There are 17 SDGs, I want to tell you. And in these 17, it is in order it has been organized by UN. And if you look at climate action, it is number 12. Are you thinking what poverty is number 12. No poverty is number 1. And this no poverty can be achieved through our point, which says employment opportunities when employment Therefore, we are saying if we prioritize in mining, we are going to build, because the first project is to build a strong economy. We have to have a base that we can use to do the other things. Therefore, here we are saying climate justice is a bit minor if you compare it to oil mining. Because through this oil mining, we can achieve climate justice and rest of this.
So today we shall go home with our hearts pumping, go for activations, that is how it started. Even for the semi-final, we only announce when we are going for the semi-final. We shall only announce the results of the final, or those who have won these two rounds, those two rooms, when we are going to have the finals. And by the guidance of the organizing committee, the finals shall be tomorrow. So we shall only know those who are debating at the final tomorrow. So today, from my own behalf, on behalf of my judges who are yet to come, we thank you so much for your cooperation from when the day started now. And we advise you to show up tomorrow. Those who have debated the semi-final, because we want to know whether you have broken the final or not. Good luck.
Please give a hand clap to the judges. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Another hand clap to you yourself that debated. And a big hour to those that just came to support. Thank you so much. We've come to the end of our quarterfinals and semi-finals. I am equally anticipating the results. Yes, but we are going to be here tomorrow. The program will start tomorrow at the executive station. I keep saying that now. Here we have a special person from the embassy, from the office of the education authority, our friend, our brother, Abuna William Akon, who came today to witness how the young South Sudanese are engaging verbally and convincing each other to the different aspects. Let's give him just a few minutes to say what to us, greet us, and then we can continue the program.
First and foremost, I would like to appreciate all the participants. All of you have tried your best, and you have made at the level that tomorrow when the country will also be able to create the national issues. This is just the beginning of things as a youth at the same time. You know, debate is not something that happens. You need to come up and fight each other. Those who have lost, I just wanted to tell you that nevertheless, there is always a winning and a losing. There is always those who will try hard. But at the end of the day, you will not make it. I have not observed that much. But the only thing that I have observed today is that all of you are capable of doing it. Especially those who have also lost. If people are to sit down and analyze critically, you will find out that even those who have lost are also winners.